The Tour de France 2025 game is here with a brand new game engine for the most realistic ride yet. Rewrite the Pogacar-Vingegaard rivalry your way. It's available now on PS5, Xbox Series, and PC via Steam. Link in the description. I must confess, early afternoon I was expecting a few different things. First of all, not Lenny Martinez in the breakaway, because this is a flat start to the race. Crosswinds, not strong enough to split it, but enough to make it hard. But no teams, apart from 4, tried to go on the breakaway. There's a succession of hills near the finish where, to me, there could only be 2 or maybe 3 or 4 winners, being Van der Poel, Pogacar, or a lucky puncher that slips away, and yet it's only Kasper Asgreen who decides to be the 4th man in that breakaway. Dillier gets back to pacing for Alpecin, so Van der Poel was the favourite for the stage, the yellow jersey. Pogacar was the second favourite, but it was very, very tricky. Look at Jonas Vingegaard here. He escapes narrowly. Sepp Kuss isn't so lucky when Verscher moves left or crashes left after Fedorov hit the road furniture. It's Vingegaard who's the last man looking behind that misses it, and it's Sepp Kuss that comes down on his buttocks. And there's going to be a few more crashes with so much road furniture around the Rouen where they did the stage today. This one wasn't, I think, about road furniture, but Vingegaard, again, he's in the back left. The domino effect nearly takes him and puts him into the hedge, and I think it was a lot of the guys who crashed yesterday going down again. Fedorov, Pithy, Verscher, and Julian Alaphilippe in great position with Tudor, the first categorized climb of the day, a great puncher for this sort of finish. He has a mechanical, a rear flat, and they try to change the wheel. They changed the wheel and then eventually changed the bike. His race is over. I mean, the succession of climbs are starting. UAE and Visma are not going to slow down, and you're never coming back. Even if you do come back, which they nearly do, you're trying to do it on a 1.5k, 9% climb. Lenny Martinez goes clear from the breakaway. UAE start to put a pace on this climb and then continue with Soler on the flatter sections and Sivakov to keep it in a line, because you want to be in front. You want to have it in a line so that when there's narrowings, you aren't involved in crashes. I think Oscar Onley was involved in that. Lenny Martinez makes it to 20 k's to go. He's caught at the base of that climb. And Alpecin de Koenig, they know what they're doing. 900 meters, 7%. If you enter in good position, look at Vermeersch. He's trying to move over and box Sivakov. Groves moves over to box Valens. They don't want UAE doing a hard pace, doing a lead out. And by boxing those two in, by the time UAE get to the front to start pacing again, it's like 138 meters left to the climb. They've already taken out 2/3, 75% of the climb where UAE could set a hard pace. So Alpecin, they know that pretty much everyone that can sprint is going to get dropped. They don't need the race any harder. They want to try and stop UAE making it harder, and UAE had a line on that descent. But the second last climb was the easiest of the 4, and so you're not really hurting people on 5%. Pogacar's able to look down and play with his head unit. Vingegaard looks relaxed. No one extra is dropping. Evenepoel sees Wellen start to pace, and he's like, is a Pogacar attack coming here? Are they about to send it over the descent? But it's a wide road. So if you had the legs, you could move up in this moment, and Campenaerts begins to slide up the left-hand side for Visma and then does a full lead-out with the team over the top of this climb. It's a very twisty descent. Then there's actually a pinch 2/3 the way down the descent, and Campenaerts sends it. Evenepoel takes the wheel of Van Aert off Pogacar, and Pogacar wasn't very comfortable with it. Van der Poel's able to dive bomb the corner onto Narvaez's wheel. His teammate obviously lets him slide in. And talking of wheels, Van Aert might have let the wheel go here. He's the Visma rider on the bit of a gap. It's Benoot, Jurgensen, Vingegaard and Campenaerts ahead. And would Remco have shut the gap? And there's this pinch where Campenaerts is sending it. Probably Pogacar and Narvaez, or Narvaez would have solved it on this pinch here. But Pogacar was able to come in front of Remco, and Remco dropped the wheel. And look at the damage behind. Gold dropped. Lipovic on a gap, losing time. It really split on that descent. And then they were into the final key climb. It's 7% for a bit. That's where they are now. This isn't the steep part. And then they go left, right, and it's an absolute wall. The KOM starts here. Narvaez is looking back. Where's Pogacar? Here he is. Lead out time. Time to send it. And he sends it indeed, but only in good position. Schelmo's are there, Roglic there, Van Aert there, but it's Almeida who comes up and starts smashing it, setting up the world champion to attack. Van der Poel immediately puts his head down. He cannot respond to this from Tadej Pogacar. Vingegaard is off the wheel. He has to close it, but it's not looking... This is Pogacar's terrain, the winner of Flèche Wallonne twice, the winner of Liège-Bastogne-Liège multiple times. Look at the gap they've put on the others, but Vingegaard's looking comfortable. Is Pogacar going to sit down? But then Vingegaard looks behind, sits down, and Pogacar keeps sprinting away. This looked like the repeat of the Galibier last year, where Pogacar was going to go over the top and take 30 seconds on Vingegaard, but he stalls. Just in the last 50 meters of this climb on the steep gradients, Pogacar stalls and Vingegaard realizes he can sprint back to his wheel. And so what a battle we had on the Saint-Hilaire, on a puncher-style stage, stage 4, these two going head-to-head. Vingegaard neutralizes Pogacar. Pogacar keeps running. We're looking, where's Remco? And Remco's in a difficult spot. Jurgensen's not going to chase behind his teammate. Only's going to sit in. Van der Poel's gassed. Almeida's not going to chase behind Tadej Pogacar. And so Remco has to close these two down. By the time Vingegaard starts relaying, it's too late, and Remco's already shut it on the flat. But now what can Jorgensen do? What can the others try and do to disrupt the inevitable sprint of Mathieu van der Poel? And Pogacar closes that one. Stalemate. It's pretty fast downhill in this moment, and so there's a lot of draft benefit in the wheels. Almeida starts to set a pace to stop others attacking. Gregoire, Schelmoser, and Vauquelin look like they're about to come back. Gregoire's about to get on, and then Remco Evenepoel attacks. But it's before a couple of corners, which can be good. If you're a Van der Poel, you can use the corners to get a gap. But Remco takes a bad line here, and then on the left-hander here, he misjudges it, has to brake a lot, and Almeida's basically back into his wheel straight away. And then Jorgensen counters under the Flamme Rouge. Almeida's already done a lot of work. He's paced. Can he bring back Jorgensen? And Almeida, again, made the difference today, sewing it back up for Tadej Pogacar. And look at Van der Poel. He moves up to close the gap for in front of Remco, but he's got Pog on the wheel. And then as it kicks up again, Almeida does the hard uphill lead out. Vingegaard in the wheel of Pogacar. Still, stage 2, we saw nobody could beat Van der Poel once he opened his sprint. And he gets a gap immediately off Vingegaard from Pogacar's wheel. Pogacar today, when Van der Poel sits down, is able to come over the top of him and win this sprint easily for his 100th professional victory in the Rainbow Bands at the Tour de France. Ahead of Van der Poel and Vingegaard, Oscar Only, fantastic performance. Gregoire, Almeida, Evenepoel, Jurgensen, Schelmoser, Vauquelin. Here's what Pogacar had to say.
I tried with an attack the second last climb, the last climb, and then Jonas followed me, and then everything came together, and Joao, and he did such an amazing job to lead me out until the very end, even if people were attacking. So I'm super happy and proud of the team today. Amazing. I'm just without words. It was such a nice victory.
In terms of GC, Van der Poel is still in the yellow jersey. Pogacar's in the KOM jersey. They're 8 seconds ahead of Vingegaard. Jurgensen's on 19 seconds. Vauquelin 26. We've got the TT tomorrow. It's the 33k TT. Evenepoel's the heavy favourite. It'd be exciting if he wins. Hope you enjoy the video. I'll see you tomorrow. Ciao, ciao.